Today, there are 5 unfair advantages that I want every Nepali girl to build in her 20s. I think being a Nepali girl in your 20s can become an unfair advantage, and it is so important to build these unfair advantages properly in your 20s so you can have so many more options later in life. Now, especially for Nepali girls, it is so important because we're already born and raised with a lot of conditioning and strong sense of family, responsibility, and what we are supposed to do. And obviously, there's nothing wrong with it, but I think when it comes to career, relationship, finances, it is important that you make those decisions based on what you actually want from your life. Hey guys, I'm Yanj and welcome to another episode of A Decade Down Under, where I tell you guys all the wins and lessons that I've learned in Australia in the past 10 years of living, surviving and thriving in Australia. First one is build a skill that people will pay you well for. Now it can be any skill, communication skills, leadership skill, management skill, not just a degree, not just a job, but a skill that's genuinely something you can be really good at. Whatever it takes, become really good at it, because obviously with the help of your degree you could get first opportunity at a job, but it is your skill that gives you the power to negotiate your salary, gives you power to change job whenever you want. It gives you that choice and freedom to not be stuck in a situation. First time I realized that having a skill meant having freedom was I was a barista and I became really good barista. I was working on a really busy cafe, high pressure, and then I was just thinking to myself, oh my god, I could just go to any corner of the world and just become a barista because I have the skill. That's just this very tiny example of it, but later in life I made sure my communication skills were so good that I could advocate for myself, I could negotiate my salary. And I don't want you to think like, oh, I'm gonna have a husband who will earn well. I want you to think, I have a earning power, I can earn well as well. And if you choose not to, that's totally fine, but having a skill in the bag when you need it is an unfair advantage. Second unfair advantage is learn how money actually works. This is so important to me. To me, financial literacy is so hot. I don't want you to know about how to earn money. If you're educated or if you're even desperate enough, you'll earn money. If you work like dog day and night, you will earn money. But what I want you to know about is savings, interest, leverage, debt, superannuation, taxes, risk, investing, property, compound growth, interest, so many other things. And it's not always just about being rich or being able to go to shopping. All these stereotypes about women that are out there, which are so incorrect. I actually want you to think, if you hate a job, then I want you to be able to say, oh, I can take care of myself, I have this saving, and I can leave the job that I want. I can leave a relationship that I want because I'm not financially dependent on someone else to do that. Imagine you already have an earning power and you are financially literate as well. That is, to me, a very important unfair advantage for a Nepali girl. The third unfair advantage is building a network before even you need one. Especially for Nepali girls, that I don't want your world to be too small. Yes, having a family, friends, your circle is amazing, but I also want you to meet people from different industries, different perspectives, go to events, reach out to people you find inspiring, go to the people whose job you potentially want because you want to learn from them. You never know when your next big opportunity can come from. It could be a business opportunity, it could be a job, it could be a mentor, a client. You actually never know. Build real relationship, not just like LinkedIn connection where you just follow each other and you just like maybe message them once. I think it's really important to build this connection and have those conversations you particularly wouldn't have with your family or friends. Talk about a business idea, talk about money. Sometimes with our friends and family, we just have the same conversation over and over again, and we might even not feel comfortable about it. You never know. You might get an opportunity from them 2 years down the line. But I think building a real network before you need one is an amazing assets. The fourth unfair advantage is build a reputation, not just a resume. Now, how I want you to think is, how would your manager describe you? Would they say, oh, she has a degree and she is okay to work with, or your manager will say to people, yes, she's amazing, she's really good to work with, she's very likable, she's reliable, trustworthy. How would your manager describe you? Now, it is to say that having a reputation in your workplace is also very important, because resume doesn't necessarily tell people who you are as a person. So I really want you to focus on that, because once you build a reputation of being reliable, being someone very likable, someone who meets deadline, is that the opportunity will start to find you. Having a solid resume is great, but having a reputation is even better. Eventually, people will recommend you. People will want to work with you. People will want you to be in their project. And it is so freeing and liberating where you have the choice, you have the option. And I think even for promotions, if you are someone who has a good reputation, more likely you are someone who gets the opportunity to level up as well. Number 5, and this last one is probably my favorite one: build something that is yours. Obviously, we talked about your career, reputation, network. But again, at the end of the day, you need to have something that belongs to you. And as a Nepali girl, ownership is so important. I cannot even stress that enough. And it doesn't have to be a business. It doesn't have to be a house that you own. It does not have to be something major. It could be a YouTube channel that you started. It could be a newsletter if you love writing. It could be a portfolio that you have. It could be something outside of your regular work that belongs to you, that you made from your 2 bare hands. It could be even a personal brand. And job is something your employer owns, and your qualification is something you've earned, but you really need something that is your own. For example, you started a YouTube channel. Maybe you don't earn money from it straight away, or you only 100 people watches it and it's really small, but it's still something that belongs to you, and you never know where you could take it. So in this age with internet, I want you to think about something that you can do outside of your work, something that you can build. Could be as you write for Substack, that it's a TikTok, or anything else which actually gives you joy, what makes you creative. And I don't want you to think, I'm doing this to make money, but I want you to think like, I'm doing this because this belongs to me. I have made it. I have created this. As a Nepali girl in your 20s, I really want you to think, what is something that I can start with? And I think that is really important. So if I were a Nepali girl in my 20s living in Australia today, these are the 5 things I would definitely focus on, which is building a valuable skill and learning about how money works and building a reputation, not just a resume, and building my network, and finally building something that I own, or building something that is truly mine. You really need to give yourself every unfair advantages that you can give yourself in this current economy, because 20s go by so quickly. I really need you to build as many unfair advantages as you can, so you become truly unstoppable in your 30s, 40s. Please let me know what you think about these unfair advantages, and if there are more, please let me know in the comments below. There are all the other videos on the Decade Down Under series. Please check them out. If you love this video, don't forget to subscribe. I will see you in the next video. Bye.